Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Tiffany. If this is the first time you're here, I mostly do books, comics, and mangas. Occasionally I might dabble into a movie or television show. If there's anything you'd like to see me talk about, let me know in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this or any of my other videos, please follow me and let me know what you like so I can make what you like and we can have a great conversation and have a little fun here. So you know how Disney's been doing a lot of remakes, and in the book world, retellings of fairy tales have always been a thing. You know, stories are passed down, they're cultural, you know, and people want different spins on the stories that they love, whether it's Snow White, Cinderella, Rapunzel, The Little Mermaid. So I was thinking about it, and you know, Snow White started off Disney, even though it's an old German tale, and there are a lot of Snow White retellings. So I want to talk about 5 of them here. One of them is a manga and one of them is a graphic novel. The other 3 are YA. So I'm going to go ahead and jump straight into it. If there's any that are great or just straight up horrible that I have not mentioned, let me know and maybe I'll check those out, especially if it's really bad. The first one I want to talk about is Stitching Snow. Our main character's name is Essie. She has a secret and she is not scared of hard work. She's kind of like a Renaissance woman, if you lack for a better word. She's a programmer, she's an engineer, she can fight, and she's just, she can do like basically everything. She is pretty lonely, she has 2 super droids to keep her company, and of course she finds a dude named Dane. Dane is not a bad dude. He helps her fight off an attacker. He's not the most intelligent person, but overall he's just like a nice guy, you know. And definitely, like, I do think they complement each other well, especially, you know, Snow White, you want a little bit of a love story, right? They do complement each other, but yeah, him and the androids are definitely not the smartest beings in this book. But of course, there are some issues that come up with this whole love story. So Dane's a treasure hunter, but he kinda misleads on what he is hunting. It turns out that Essie is the missing Princess Snow. You know, there's the King and Queen Olivia, and Dane's part of the exile, and he has every motivation to kidnap Essie. Okay, so, you know, something's got to be a little bit wrong with this romance, even though he's a nice guy. Turns out, like, he tells her, you know, he's a treasure hunter, which he is, but he lies about the type of treasure he is looking for. Also, Essie finds out that she is the missing Princess Snow, because, you know, Snow White's got to be a princess with the evil stepmother who marries the king. The queen's name is Princess Olivia, and honestly, Dane has every reason to kind of want to kidnap Essie because he's part of the exile. Essie and Dane go to his people, and she's kind of the reason why the exile is a thing. They want to put her back on the throne, and her life as princess was kind of horrible, and she had her own reasons to run away. And it's basically like, you know, a revolution story of the sorts, and that was very popular at the time this came out. I think it handles it well. I think the writing is great. That's just my personal opinion. And if you like those ideas, especially in YA, I would definitely check this out. I don't want to go too deep into it, but it does. You will definitely see the sprinkles of the original tale of Snow White that you are familiar with. And I think this handles the revolution and everything in a very unique way. Okay, so the next one I want to talk about is this graphic novel, Snow, Glass, and Apples by Neil Gaiman. It is part of his short story collection called Smoke and Mirrors, but this one story has been adapted by Colleen Durant, and she is inspired by old European style, and it's very gothic. And if that heart doesn't say anything, if you're looking for a Snow White retelling that's suitable for a younger audience, this is not it. This is very adult. This is very adult. So what's interesting about this is, this is short, so you could easily read this in like an hour, but the artwork's incredible. So, in the original story, how Snow White and the evil queen, that's reversed. So Snow White is the evil one. She's a vampire. And so, of course, there's a prince in this. This is Snow White. And he has an affliction that cannot be cured. Snow White couldn't care about her father's dying at all. She don't care about nobody but herself. As a child, she even weirded out the queen. Because this is so short, I'm kind of nervous to go too in depth with the story because this story is literally like under 80 pages. But if you enjoy really dark stuff and you don't mind blood, self-affliction, a lot of sex and nudity, this is definitely for you. I just kind of want him to reimagine and do dark story, especially with a little twist, like on all of these stories. Like, this was so great, and the artwork is so gorgeous. And yeah, okay, so anybody who's been on BookTube for a while or Bookstagram in the YA universe knows this book is going to pop up, and this one's a little bit of a cop-out because this is a 4th book in a series, so you do kind of have to read a series before you get to this. However, I totally think it's worth it. Winter by Marissa Meyer. I had to bring this up. This is also kind of like a sci-fi retelling. Honestly, with the retellings I kind of like the sci-fi twist or fantasy twist on them. And each book, in my opinion, gets better than the last. And each book kind of follows a different person or tells their story, even though Cinder, who is Cinderella, is probably the mainest of the main characters, if that's the way to describe it. First book is Cinder, then it's Scarlet, Cress, and Winter. And this book combines all the characters from their books and their coupleness into it, and I think this book handles so many points of view and so many merging storylines really, really well, which is something that is extremely hard to do. And this one is a little chunky. It's about 800 pages. But I think this one is worth your time if you had not read this book during its hype train. So this one is based on Winter. That's her name. That's Snow White's name. And she's a lunar, and they're up in space. And, her stepmom is queen, and her stepmom doesn't like her, and they come and get her, like Cinder, Cress, Scarlet, go to get Winter and free her. And lunars have a manipulation power, which is why a lot of people fear them. Yes, this does have some YA tropes in it, but I think it handles it very well. I read this as an adult, and I know other adults who have truly enjoyed this series. Don't let it being YA throw you off. I think it is a little bit younger set as far as maybe through the 14, 15, 16 range of YA. But I do think it's written in a way that adults can enjoy it. Like I said, it weaves the stories in very well. Marissa Meyer seems just to be really, really good at retellings, and everything feels kind of fresh. The universe feels very fleshed out, and I do think it's worth your investment to get to this book. Okay, so I know I just talked about the last book of a series right before this one. This one's going to be the first volume of the manga series I want to talk about. Because this is a recommendation video, I'm not going to talk about it's either 17 or 18 volumes. I'm just going to talk about the first one because this is not a review or a summary video. So, Snow White with the red hair. This is a very cute shoujo manga. Out of all the books I'll recommend or stories I'll recommend in this video, this one probably has the loosest tie-ins to Snow White. But you do see the apples, you do see the prince, you do see mirror, mirror on the wall. There's definitely that in this, and this is just the first volume, and it's mostly just set up. But like with most shoujos and romances, if you do not care about our main characters and their love interests, you will not be into this. But if you really like the shoujo slice of life with fantasy thrown in there, and it follows this herbalist who's a free spirit, and I think She's a little bit more independent, like with Stitching Snow. I think she's a little bit more of an independent type character. I think this will be great for you. The artwork is really cute. The story is adorable, and there's an anime. So if you can't get into this through reading, I haven't watched the anime, but I heard the anime is really good. And the manga is so adorable. So if you're into shoujos and you want more of the slice of life, more into our main character than the overarching story, and she does fall for a prince, and so the bright red hair is what makes her stand out where she's at. It's not as common. And you know, if you just want something that's slice of life shoujo, more into the main character, more of a story you can dive into, check out this or possibly the anime. It is so cute. And yeah, so this one might be cheating a little bit, but I am going to mention it here anyways. Ferris by Marissa Meyer. I was unsure to add this in or not because first off, it's based off the Queen and not Snow White. Also, it's also a part of a series that I've already mentioned, but it's a side novella that you don't have to read to understand the story. I think it was published between Cress and Winter, so I don't think you have to read Winter first, but I did, and I think it makes more sense that way. But if you like to know a little bit more about villains and the evil queen and stuff, this one's for you. It is written very well. I know some people get fatigued and trying to make a villain feel fleshed out and blah, 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 but it makes sense. Like, it didn't have her to be this perfect maiden that just one bad event corrupted her. It shows her insecurities, and it talks about her glamour and wanting to be the fairest, most beautiful queen in the land and what she wants to do for her power. Also in this universe, they do like bio stuff to children, and this shows like the side effects of it. She wasn't like the first queen like her sister was, and she keeps thinking about how she would do better, blah, blah, blah. And like I said, I don't think this is necessary, but I think this is so much fun, and I definitely recommend you picking this up if you really enjoyed the series. But I don't think I would stop mid-series to read this like with publication order. I think I would just read this after I was done. There's other novellas and side stories that go along with the Cinder series or the Lunar Chronicles. I don't know why I said Cinder series. The Lunar Chronicles. This is the only one I really liked. And normally I get a little nervous when it comes to villain backstory, especially when it comes to the ones when I think Disney, but this is a retelling and not retelling off the Disney one so much, so I think this is a pretty safe bet, and it's short, so this might just be up your alley. And I think the cover's like actually really, really cool. Okay guys, that is it. Tell me if you read any of these before. I know Winter probably is the most popular one on the list. If there's any that I left out that I definitely should recommend to other people or check out myself, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you next time.